Well, hello, and welcome again to the 2012fad.com. I will be your host for this evening, and my name is Charlie Bluehog. Last night, we talked about pulling the trigger and how basically hard it's been for our masters to convince us to kill each other. It's actually very, very, very tough to get a human being to kill another human being. But thankfully, with the creation of the video game, which our military has been pouring millions, billions of dollars into, we've now desensitized ourselves to the point where killing each other is really not a big deal. It's no big thing. It's a video game. In World War II, it took an average of 250,000 bullets to kill one enemy soldier. And in World War I, it was even harder. People just really weren't interested in killing each other. And this, of course, upset our masters rather badly, since hatred is their goal. They've now got most of the money in the world, so money is no longer the goal. The bankers, their servants, their mandarins, their willing servants, who I truly believe are actually human beings with souls, have chosen hatred of their own free will. The Bush family certainly has, the Cheney family, the Clintons, Ben Bernanke, Henry Kissinger. These are all very, very willing participants in this religion of hate. And as we always say, it doesn't matter if Satan or God exists. It doesn't matter if they do or not. It doesn't matter whether you or I believe that they exist. Our masters do. And they are the perfect religious zealots. Their religion is their life. And since they choose to worship Satan, whether she's real or not, they embrace hatred as a way of life. And I have to admit, I don't like talking about this, but it really is that they have no soul. I've been watching this my whole life. I'll be 53 this month. And I have to admit, I cannot find any other rational explanation for what I see turning the world into a giant outdoor toilet. There's financially no reason for that. Actually, from a financial point of view, that's very detrimental. Attacking Japan and basically breaking the backs of their reactors so they're spewing radiation into the environment. From a financial point of view, that doesn't make any sense. Now, the fact that our masters have technology that's thousands and thousands of years ahead of anything you or I could possibly imagine. I mean, they left Star Trek behind decades ago. So they have the technology to actually clean radiation. To them, it's a no-brainer. It's easy to do. So why anybody would deliberately turn, quote-unquote, their home into a toxic waste dump, whether they live on the surface of this world or in their megacities underground, it doesn't make any financial sense. It certainly doesn't make any human sense. So last night we talked about pulling the trigger, how hard it is for people to kill each other, but now the video game has stepped up. So now, instead of sending troops physically into combat zones, American troops are infamously known for being terrible in the field. Other armies won't fight side by side with Americans because Americans just don't know what they're doing. They've since gotten better, of course, at killing, and we have a very, very high suicide rate of American troops killing themselves after realizing the horrors that they've committed against the innocent. I think we have the highest suicide rate of any military in the world. Of course, we have the biggest military in the world for no particular reason. But with the advent, as technology grows, with the advent of these remote-controlled flying craft, drones they call them, it's a euphemism for basically flying death machine. The video operators, those who grew up murdering people in video games, Doom comes to mind, can now sit in front of their computers at home, can control these remote-controlled battleships anywhere in the world by satellite. And it's again like playing a video game. So now American troops can sit at home, some popcorn, bottle of Coke, and murder people anywhere in the world on a video game. So now that they have all the money in the world, now money is no longer the object. The object now is hatred, and making us suffer in the most horrible ways possible because, frankly, our masters really enjoy that. It's part of their religion. And have you ever tried to argue with somebody about their religion? And so tonight I thought we might chat about May I Have Some More. There's an old Charles Dickens story of an orphan boy. And he stands out in the story because he doesn't act like he should. He's not subservient, he's not broken, he's not beaten. He actually speaks up. And he's sent to an orphanage. And they're feeding him, the traditional gruel. It's an English story. And this little boy gets up, walks up to the front of the room and says, "May I have some more, please?" Because he's still hungry. They gave him a little gruel, and he's living in a workhouse, and they're working him to death. And he actually says, "May I have some more, please?" And this, of course, causes a riot amongst the masters of that time. How dare cattle, a piece of cow, ask for more? And it's basically the story, Oliver Twist. It's actually a story of this little boy growing up and saying, that's just not right. And he actually stands up and says something about it. And it causes endless scandal because he actually wants to be treated like a human being. Somewhere along the way, I don't think we had much of it to begin with, frankly, but somewhere we lost the ability to say what we need, what we want. I know I certainly couldn't. I grew up a whipped dog, a beaten animal. By the age of 5, I had been gang raped and beaten and most of the bones in my body broken. I was terrified of everyone and everything all the time. It took me a long time to begin to say, may I have some more? Or more importantly, I learned to say no. No, you will not hurt me. No, you will not cheat me. No, you will not lie to me. No. It gets back to something we chatted about earlier, permission to speak. I've actually seen with my own eyes over and over and over again, people dying to talk, but because they were not given permission to speak, they kept it all to themselves. I remember sitting at Caltech at Pasadena, California, when I worked for NASA under a Raytheon contract. And there was this horrible woman that everybody hated. And she was just destruction incarnate. She destroyed everything around her. Because she had told me quite often that she had slept her way through college and she had gotten her degree by having sex with her professors. This was not a rumor. This is something she bragged about. And at the end, she never even defended her thesis. She just didn't bother to show up. So she was calling herself doctor when she actually, under the law, has no right to. But she was a walking, talking, screaming nightmare. And I was sitting in a room with 20-plus scientists, mostly women. And my friend Anne was sitting across from me, a very accomplished lady, a very young scientist. She was a child genius. She had gone to Caltech and graduated, I think, at the age of 16 or something. And she and I often debated things like this, and she just flatly wouldn't believe me that I said people need permission to speak. And so she was sitting across from me at the table when I brought up this horrible woman and what a monster she was. And instantly, every person in that room, 20 plus, mostly women, started agreeing with me and sharing their horror stories about this monster. And my little friend Anne across the room, across the table, just her eyes just like lit up. And I just sort of shrugged. I have to admit, I'm really tired of that too. People not listening. But, that's who we are. It's how we are. And so, may I have some more is our topic this evening. This is, again, the cattle, you and me, saying, this isn't enough. I need more food to eat. This is a particular interest to me because for the last few months I haven't had enough food to eat. And I was actually going to bed hungry every night for months, simply because I didn't have the money. Which is kind of interesting to me because I've been in international IT and corporate management for 25 years. And in 2006, we did a little survey. And there were only 400 of us at the level that I am, qualifications, experience, all that nonsense about what level are you at. There were only 400 people in the world, of which I was one, and the number was dropping. Now, in 2011, I understand why the number is dropping. We're being phased out because we actually know how to do our job. So, for me, going to bed hungry because I couldn't afford to buy myself enough food to eat, that was sort of remarkable to me. And we look at the world around us and say, why don't we say, may I have some more, please? May I have some food, please? May I have a job, please? May I have my home back, please? Could you please not have your police murder us for no particular reason? May I have some more, please? Could I have some justice? Could I have some... It's not even justice. It's the difference between right and wrong. And we'll talk about that someday. May I have some more means may I have some more reality in my world. When you're in Europe and you're watching American television, and how can I say this? You watch American television in Europe and you can see it condensed down. It sort of filters down into the purest form of insanity. The TV show CSI, I don't know how many versions of that are playing currently. 10, 12, it's impossible to tell. I try not to watch TV anymore, even though I know I need to keep up on the latest TV shows to see what our masters are programming us for. It's disgusting. And it deals with such fantasy and such cruelty. Again, it's desensitizing us. So what I'd like to have some more of, please, is I frankly would like to have some more Star Trek. Where as a child, it taught me humanity and decency were good things. I'd like to have some more Doctor Who, please, teaching me that it's okay to be kind to each other. It's okay to help each other. It's okay. But may I have some more, please? May I have some more food? May I have some more money? May I have a job that I can work where the first 7 months of the year working, the government takes all that money to steal. I was going to say the government takes my money the first 7 months of the year to run the country, but that's a lie too. The government, our masters, and the corporations they represent, steal our money for the first 7 months of every year. We don't actually get to keep any of our money until the 8th month. How is that even possible? May I have some more? I would like, please, some more of my money. I would like to see more justice. I would like to see more reality. I would like us to talk about the difference between right and wrong. We don't do that. May I have some more, please? I would like some more clean water. Did you know, for example, that fluoride is a poison? Fluoride has no value at all in our water supply, in our bodies, other than the fact that it makes us submissive. The Nazis proved this in World War II when they gave fluoride to the prisoners in the death camps. It made the prisoners submissive. Do you want to be submissive? Do you want to be marched to the showers and not put up a fight? May I have some more, please? May I have some more justice? In Europe right now, there are riots going on everywhere against the governments. I'd like to see that in the States, frankly. You don't have to break anything. You don't have to kill anybody. You don't have to turn over cars or set them on fire. But I'd imagine 1 million people, Americans, exercising their rights to own weapons, to defend themselves, to defend their country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. May I have some more? I would like to see more people standing in Washington, D.C. with their weapons, not flourishing them, not branding them around, not aiming them at anybody, just holding them in plain sight so you can't be accused of being a terrorist. I'd like to see 1 million Americans armed, standing in Washington, D.C. I'd like to see the same in Wall Street in New York. I would like to see some arrests. And again, under the Constitution, Americans can make a citizen's arrest. Don't hurt anybody. Don't harm anyone. Don't damage any property. Simply start arresting those that you suspect of being against the Constitution or that you can prove. Put them on trial. May I have some more, please? I'd like to see some legal action. May I have some more, please? I'd like to see some justice. I'd like to see these individuals, Barack Obama, for example, Ben Bernanke, the Bushes. It's interesting, old George Bush was caught, as they are often caught, believing that there's no live mics on when they're speaking to each other. There was a story once where old George Bush was saying, and he was talking to some of his other Mandarin class people, and he did not realize he was being recorded. And he said to some of those people around him, says, if the American people ever knew what we had ever done to them, the Bush family, they'd lynch us. And occasionally you'll get these little snippets of truth come out. There's been several about Fox News, where the commentators on Fox News, they don't realize the microphones are live, and they'll start talking about how stupid people are to believe any of the garbage that they're telling them, and they're laughing amongst themselves. May I have some more? Well, what I would like to see, of course, is I'd like to see some of us stand up and say, I listen to what you say, I watch what you do. I'm giving myself permission to speak. I'm giving myself the right to say, may I have some more? It's time you and I have been on this planet for 2.5 billion years. It's time. It's really past time for us to grow up. It's really past time for us to stop thinking about the New World Order and stop thinking about conspiracy theories and simply dealing with the fact that this is business. And it's the business of hatred. And the moment we get caught up with, oh, they're soulless lizard people inhabited by demons from another dimension after the war between God and her lover, Satan. It's a tiff between girlfriends. We really have to stop that. We really just have to look at what is real and deal with it. What is real is America has military bases, the last time I looked, I think in 167 different countries in the world. Why? The United States is at war with so many countries, I've lost count. Why? There aren't enough Americans in the military anymore for our masters to kill, so foreigners are being flooded, deliberately paid to come to the United States, to join the American military. Why? Why are governments dumping people from different cultures into our countries, people we have nothing in common with? I'm sure they're very nice people, but we don't speak their language or their customs, and their culture and their religions are so different from ours. There's never going to be any meeting place. There's no commonality. When you dump people from villages in Africa into downtown Los Angeles without any preparation, and you actually pay to have them shipped there, there's going to be problems. And there have been. Lots. When you dump people from Arab countries into Western countries, as they do in France, they just dump Arab people, and they pay for it. The government pays for Arab people to be dumped into countries like France and Sweden, and just dumps them. into neighborhoods where they have nothing in common, there's going to be trouble. May I have some more, please? May I have some more reality? This is our governments, our masters, creating problems by dumping foreigners into our countries who have no interest in our culture or adapting to us at all. That causes problems. Then our masters provide solution. Police state. May I have some more, please? I would like to have from you, if you don't mind, a bit of action. You don't have to pick up a gun. You don't have to go to war. You can simply pick up a phone and make a call to your local politician and say, I listen to what you say, and I watch what you do. Send a letter to Barack. I listen to what you say. I watch what you do. Ben Bernanke. There's a coward if I ever saw one. But as always, it's up to you. It's your decision. It's your world. It's your life. There is no they. There is no we. There's no our. There's only I. I will do something. I will not do something. It's up to you. The ancient Celts, an amazing people, since destroyed. They had a blessing or a toast, you might say, for a friend or a beloved stranger. And I share it with you. May you live as long as you wish. May you love as long as you live. For the 2012fad.com, this is Charlie Bluehawk. The 2012 Fad is brought to you by Coffee and Blood, Love Letters Between the Dead, a series of 5 erotica horror novels about a fallen angel fighting his way back to regain his own soul, and how the CIA war against the human race, their black magic, captures and traps him in the body of a mind-controlled slave designed to hunt down and to kill their god, their Satan.